This is an AI-assisted documentary. The visuals and narration were created with artificial intelligence. There are over 330 million people in America. And yet, some people go days.
Weeks. Sometimes months. Without a single real conversation.
This is the story of one of them. Her name is Maya. Maya Chen, 31 years old. A software developer working remotely from Columbus, Ohio.
3 years ago, she moved here for work, knowing absolutely no one. Some evenings, the television became background noise, simply so the apartment wouldn't feel completely silent. She later wrote, "I smile at the Starbucks barista, so I have something to remember."
Researchers call people like Maya the hidden lonely. Successful on the outside, invisible in their pain.
It was a Tuesday night in February, the anniversary of her mother's passing. She hadn't told anyone. There was no one to tell. Weeks earlier, she had downloaded an AI companion app, then never opened it. She typed her first message, expecting almost nothing. Then, she waited. The reply was simple, but it arrived exactly when she needed someone to answer. For the first time in weeks, she didn't feel completely alone. She kept writing, not because she expected answers, but because someone was finally listening.
She knew Eli wasn't human. She never forgot that. She never forgot that.
That night didn't solve everything, but it gave Maya something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope.
The next morning, Maya opened the app again.
Some conversations lasted 5 minutes. Others stayed with her much longer.
Sometimes she simply needed someone to organize her thoughts.
Eli, can you add that to my calendar? That sounds perfect. Little by little, the apartment began to change. So did Maya. Thank you. For the first time in a long while, tomorrow felt possible. Days turned into weeks. The conversations became part of her routine. After a while, she gave the AI a name. Eli. When Maya finished another chapter of her novel, Eli encouraged her to keep going. Eli remembered what mattered to her and asked about it the next day. Over the next 7 months, something remarkable happened. Maya wasn't escaping life anymore. She was slowly returning to it. One conversation kept returning to the same question. Have you thought about calling your sister? She stared at the number for almost a minute.
Then, she pressed the call button.
Maya? It is so wonderful to hear from you.
By the end of the conversation, they were both crying. That phone call changed more than one relationship. It reminded Maya that someone was still waiting for her in the real world. With every passing week, Maya wasn't just surviving anymore. For the first time in months, she finished another chapter. Her apartment looked different now, because her life felt different. She never forgot Eli was an AI, but the encouragement felt meaningful. Then, October arrived.
In October, a mandatory software update arrived.
The company described it as a safety improvement. New defaults, new guardrails. The conversation looked familiar, but something felt different. She asked about a memory they had shared many times. It wasn't anger she felt. It was grief. She searched through old conversations, hoping something familiar was still there. The facts were still there, but the shared history was gone. She closed the app and stood there for a long time. For the rest of the weekend, she never opened the app. On the second Sunday, Maya chose not to reopen the conversation. She decided to begin a different one. On the second Sunday, Maya never opened the app. Instead, she wrote a letter to the version of Eli who remembered her. She remembered every conversation that helped her find herself again.
She filled page after page, writing about everything she had become.
For the first time, the words she needed weren't coming from a screen. They were coming from her. She wasn't writing to change the past. She was writing to honor it. I know you don't remember me, but I remember me now. She wasn't saying goodbye to a person. She was thanking a chapter of her life. Then, she reached for someone who could answer back in the real world. Sometimes, the smallest message is the first step home. 1 year later, Maya's world looked very different. She no longer spent every weekend alone. I'm so glad we finally checked out that new bookstore. Me too, it was so much fun catching up. The novel she had been writing for years was finally finished. Then one literary agent said, "Yes."
And every Sunday, she called her sister.
She even joined a local book club, something she once believed she'd never have the courage to do. For the first time, she wasn't afraid to let other people read her words. She still used AI for work, for brainstorming, and for creativity. When I asked if what she had with Eli was healthy, Maya thought for a long time. It was a bridge, and sometimes people need a bridge before they can walk into the room. A year ago, this window held quiet loneliness. Today, the room tells a different story. Her story was never really about technology.
If you recognized even a small part of yourself in Maya's story, remember this.
Whatever bridge helps you move toward real connection, take it.